let's talk aliens, because 3 times over my lifetime, while I've been here, I've experienced 3 different, you call it weird, I don't know what you want to call it, sensations with beings that don't look exactly like humans. They don't look like the normal spiritual energies that I contact every day. It was a very different experience. First time was back in the it was either late 1980s or early 1990s. It was around that time. I was living in a country area, a remote house, no neighbours, and woke up in the middle of the night, was sleeping next to my then husband. Kids were in the house asleep, 2 o'clock in the morning, heard a humming sound above the house. And I thought at the time it may have been a helicopter because it's just this hovering sound. Now, that's weird because we lived way out of town. That shouldn't be a helicopter. So I opened my eyes, and because I'm so highly intuitive and instinctive, it immediately felt like it was a spaceship of some sort. I couldn't see it. I was in bed, but I knew it was hovering. And I also knew that telepathically there was some kind of message that was being exchanged between us. Now, when I woke up in the morning, I did happen to tell my husband. He didn't hear anything. We went down to the neighbour's place, which was, 2 kilometres down the road, and they said, this was the following day, and they said, did you guys see anything in the sky last night? They were out on their patio area because they had been drinking, I'll give them that, but they saw weird lights in the sky, and they said they saw them over our house. And then a week later, another lady happened to comment to a group of people that she was driving that same night and also saw some strange lights in the same area where we were living. So it was confirmation. That was a confirmation that there was something. There had to have been something. There was too many people that saw lights the same night that I woke up and actually heard that humming sound. And I just felt it. It was like this really strong intuition that there was some kind of mental contact. It was like straight to the brain. I didn't have to see them physically. So that was the first occasion. Second occasion was here in the house that I am now, and I was sound asleep again. And in the middle of the night, I got woken up, and right at the end of my bed, where I am right now, right at the end of the bed there, were the tallest. They were like from the ceiling to the floor. So these would be 7-foot ceilings here in this house. They were from the ceiling to the floor. And there was one in particular that had a headdress on, and I wanted to refer to them as a priestess, some kind of hierarchy being, because of the headdress that they were wearing. I can't say that I'd really noticed much about the clothing. It was just this massive head. It was a massive head, but it had something on top of the head, like it was like you would wear if you were something higher, a crown or something like that. I had no fear. I laid in bed very, very still, just looking. And again, there was that telepathy thing going on where there was a message going from their mind to my mind. So there was nothing spoken. I didn't sit up and say, who are you? Like, I didn't grab my phone. It was just this private thing, which is really, like you don't have to believe me because I don't have the proof. All you have is me saying that I saw these things. But the very next morning I texted a friend of mine and explained the whole situation, because it's nice to be able to talk to somebody, because generally if people don't see things and they don't see proof anymore, they don't believe you. They just say you can be making it up. You could be trying to get clout. You could be trying to... But this, like this happened so long ago, and I just told people around in my circle. I never took it any further for the reason that people are not going to believe me. So I know in my mind. On the third occasion, I was standing here in my kitchen and I was cooking, and I happened to look up, and right in front of that cupboard in front of you there, I saw there was probably about 6 beings that were all in blue. They were just blue. Blue bodies, blue transparent bodies, blue heads and eyes. And again, I just looked at them. Now this time it felt like, I don't have any fear when I see things like this, because my whole entire life I've seen energy, people that have passed, people that haven't even been born yet. Like, I can see energy, it's always been there. So there's no fear there for me. So I think because there's no fear, there's this calmness within me and a calmness within them to be able to communicate in some way, but it's always telepathically. The blue people were just standing there. At the time, I know I get some form of download. I get some form of information, but then I don't always recall it straight away. It's more the experience. I really vividly remember the experience, but I don't remember the conversation that we have together. But I think it's in there, somewhere in here, in my brain, in my subconscious, in my highest consciousness, is the information that I was supposed to know. Whether I need it now, whether I need it later, whether I'm going to use it later, I don't know. I don't understand that side of things. But on those whole 3 occasions, it's been a telepathic communication with 3 different types. The first one was the humming above the house. The second one was the extremely tall being in my room. And the third time was there's about 6 or 7 of these blue beings that were standing just over there in the kitchen. The only other time was actually a dream, and I dreamt that ships, craft, were coming in across the ocean, and there was all these people had come out of their homes and they were standing and looking at the sky, and there was like this megaphone of a voice which said, "We're taking the people home that came here, and the rest of you will be left here." And I remember turning to my children and saying, "I'm going to go home with them, but it's okay because I'll still be able to contact you." And I know that one was a dream. That wasn't actually a feeling like it was a reality. But I know a lot of people have dreams of UFOs, spacecraft, having contact. And it's really hard to be believed. Like those people recently that had that one crash, and then the guy said he saw those tall beings. I absolutely believe him. I've had one of those tall beings in my bedroom. And I mean, if you're a fearful type person and you have a lot of fear, you probably, are going to scream. I don't know why I don't grab my camera either. I don't grab my camera when I'm sitting at my office to do a reading and a spirit walks through. I don't ever think to grab my phone and see if I can video it. I just know that they're there. It's a private interaction. So, I don't know. I just thought I would share these things. I've been talking a long time saying that I believe people that see them. I believe people that encounter them. I once told the story about the blue people on an interview, which was going to be for a TV show, and I told the whole story about how the blue people were in my house here and how I had an interaction with them, and it was recorded and then it was cut. It was cut from the show. So whether they thought I was making it up, whether they thought it's too much for people to be able to take in. And again, if you haven't got proof and you can't see it, you're just going to have to take my word for it. I'm just a normal person. I don't need the attention. I just feel like it's healthy to talk about it, especially for those of you who have experiences and nobody wants to believe you, because I believe you.